All right, so you sent over a stack of articles about Black Friday.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like you're after more than just the best deals.
Right.
You want the full story behind this whole shopping phenomenon.
Yeah, you want to go beyond the flashy ads,
Right.
Understand what really makes this day tick.
Yeah, well, get ready to dive deep
Okay.
because Black Friday is way more complex
Right.
and even dark
Yeah.
than most people realize.
It's a fascinating mix of history marketing
Okay.
and consumer behavior.
To start, let's bust that popular myth about Black Friday being the day retailers finally go into the black financially after a year of losses.
Yeah.
That feel-good story was actually fabricated much later.
Yeah. It was a clever marketing tactic to kind of like reframe the narrative around Black Friday.
Interesting. So if it's not about profits, where did the name really come from?
Well, the first recorded use of Black Friday
Okay.
actually dates back to 1869.
Wow.
It was a day of financial panic, a gold market crash,
Oh, wow.
orchestrated by two Wall Street financiers, Jay Gould and Jim Fisk.
That's quite a contrast to how we view Black Friday today.
Yeah.
It's almost hard to imagine it starting with such a negative event.
Well, it's a reminder that the meaning of words and events can shift dramatically over time.
So how do we go from a financial panic in the 1800s to the shopping frenzy we know today?
Well, that's where Philadelphia comes into the picture.
Okay.
In the 1950s, police officers in Philly started using the term Black Friday to describe the absolute chaos they experienced the day after Thanksgiving.
It's fascinating how Black Friday held such contrasting meanings for retailers and the police.
Right.
Did this tension play a role in how it evolved?
Absolutely. Retailers saw the potential in those large crowds while the police were struggling to manage them.
Yeah.
The crowds were fueled in part by the annual Army-Navy football game,
Okay.
held in Philadelphia on the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Bringing in shoppers, tourists, and football fans, this created quite the logistical nightmare for the police.
So while Jay Gould and Jim Fisk were causing a financial meltdown, nobody was fighting over a discounted flat-screen TV.
Right.
Times have certainly changed.
Indeed, the modern Black Friday frenzy is a far cry from its origins.
So we have this term Black Friday with very different meanings. For the police, it was dread and overwork.
Right.
But for retailers, it was a boost in sales.
Yeah.
How did retailers eventually manage to make Black Friday a nationally recognized shopping event with those negative connotations?
It was a brilliant, if somewhat deceptive, marketing strategy.
Okay.
In the 1980s, retailers across the country started pushing the narrative that Black Friday referred to their accounting ledgers going from red to black.
Oh.
Thanks to holiday shoppers.
Okay.
They essentially flipped the script and turned a day associated with chaos into one focused on deals and savings.
It's almost like they took a lemon and made lemonade. But given the original context, is that an accurate reflection? Or is that overstating the retail industry's impact?
I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
While the rebranding was undeniably successful, it also masks the darker side of Black Friday, the potential for consumerism to become excessive.
Okay.
This tension between profit and the potential downsides of consumerism is at the heart of Black Friday's story.
That raises an important question.
Yeah.
How did they manage to pull off such a drastic shift in perception?
Well, they tapped into a powerful human desire, the thrill of a bargain.
Okay.
By framing Black Friday as the ultimate shopping day, the day to get the best deals of the year.
Right.
They created a sense of urgency and excitement.
And that excitement has only grown over time.
Absolutely. Black Friday has evolved into a multi-day shopping extravaganza.
Wow.
Stores open earlier and earlier.
Really?
Some even encroach on Thanksgiving Day itself.
Oh, wow.
And then it's followed by Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday.
Right.
It's become this massive retail event.
It's fascinating how Black Friday went from a local term in Philadelphia to a global shopping phenomenon. How did that happen?
Well, with the rise of the internet and globalization, news and trends spread much faster.
Right.
And as Black Friday became more widely known, retailers in other countries saw the potential to capitalize on the hype.
So we have the internet to thank for spreading this consumer frenzy around the world.
In part, yes.
Okay.
The internet has definitely played a role in amplifying Black Friday's reach.
But Black Friday's evolution also reveals something interesting about our culture, doesn't it? It speaks to our desire for deals.
Right.
Our fascination with shopping. and how easily we can be swayed by clever marketing.
Yeah.
This isn't just about one day.
Right.
It's a reflection of our relationship with consumerism as a whole.
Absolutely. Black Friday is a microcosm of our consumerist society. It magnifies our tendencies, both positive and negative.
So it started as a day of financial panic and police headaches.
Right.
Has transformed into a global shopping phenomenon, a testament to the power of marketing and our enduring fascination with a good bargain.
Black Friday's evolution is a reminder that even seemingly simple traditions can have complex and often contradictory meanings.
But as we've seen, this transformation wasn't accidental.
Right.
It was carefully orchestrated by retailers who successfully rebranded a negative term into a powerful marketing tool.
And that manipulation of language and perception to drive profit is one of the most important takeaways from Black Friday's history. It's a story that's still unfolding today.
And as we head into the modern era of Black Friday, things get even more interesting. It's no longer just about brick-and-mortar stores.
Yeah.
The rise of online shopping has added a whole new dimension to the Black Friday frenzy.
And that shift online has brought with it a whole new set of challenges and considerations. From cybersecurity to ethical sourcing, to the environmental impact of shipping millions of packages around the world.
It sounds like Black Friday is more than just a day for deals.
Yeah.
It's a microcosm of the complexities of our modern world.
Exactly. It's a lens through which we can examine our relationship with technology, consumerism, and even globalization.
We'll unpack all of that in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
But before we do, I want to get your take on something.
Sure.
From all the articles you've read, what struck you as particularly insightful about the evolution of Black Friday?
Well, what's fascinating is how Black Friday became a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh.
Retailers created this narrative of it being the biggest shopping day of the year.
Yeah.
And consumers responded by making it so.
Wow.
It's a testament to the power of expectations and marketing to shape behavior.
It seems like Black Friday's story is a cautionary tale about the power of marketing and branding. But is it all negative?
Yeah.
Are there any positive aspects to Black Friday that we shouldn't overlook?
That's a good point. Black Friday does offer genuine deals for consumers.
Okay.
And for some, it's an opportunity to purchase items they might not otherwise be able to afford.
It's that duality that makes Black Friday so fascinating, isn't it? It's a day that can bring out both the best and worst in us.
It's a reflection of our own complexities as consumers and as a society.
And that's precisely why we need to delve deeper into the modern implications of Black Friday.
Okay.
Join us in the next part of this deep dive as we explore the controversies, the environmental impact, and the ethical questions surrounding this global shopping event.
Sounds good. It's interesting how Black Friday has become like this cultural touchstone, a day that kind of sparks conversations about like our values and priorities.
It's almost like a yearly checkup, not just for our wallets, but also for our ethics.
Yeah.
And speaking of ethics, one can't ignore the darker side of this whole shopping bonanza. Those articles you sent over mentioned concerns about like worker exploitation and unsafe working conditions.
Yeah, that's a critical aspect of the conversation.
Yeah, especially in factories producing goods specifically for Black Friday sales.
While we focus on like snagging deals, it's easy to forget about the people who make those products and the conditions they face. The pressure to meet the massive demand of Black Friday often results in workers being pushed to their limits.
Wow.
Sometimes even facing unsafe working conditions.
It's a stark reminder that our desire for cheap goods can have real human consequences on the other side of the world. Do any of the articles offer like solutions or ways to address this ethical dilemma?
Several articles highlight the importance of conscious consumerism, encouraging shoppers to research brands, support ethical companies, and consider the entire supply chain before making a purchase.
So it's not just about finding the lowest price. It's about understanding the true cost of what we buy.
Exactly. Consumers have more power than they realize. By choosing to support ethical companies, we can incentivize better practices throughout the industry.
But it's not just the workers who are impacted. There are environmental concerns tied to this massive consumption spree. The sheer volume of goods produced and shipped for Black Friday sales inevitably contributes to carbon emissions and waste generation.
That's another crucial point. The environmental footprint of Black Friday is significant.
Okay.
From the resources used to produce the goods to the packaging and transportation involved, the environmental cost is often overlooked in the pursuit of deals.
Is it even possible to enjoy Black Friday sales without contributing to these environmental problems?
Some articles suggest practical steps, like opting for locally made goods, choosing products with minimal packaging, and considering buying less overall.
Those are all good points, but it seems like the marketing machine behind Black Friday makes it hard to resist. Those deals can be tempting.
Absolutely.
Even for the most mindful consumer.
It's a constant struggle between our desire to save money and our awareness of the broader implications. Black Friday exposes that tension in a very tangible way.
And that tension extends to the economic side of things.
While
some people are scoring great deals, others are struggling just to make ends meet. The pressure to spend on Black Friday can be immense. Especially for those already facing financial hardship.
That's an important point. Black Friday can exacerbate existing economic inequalities. The focus on consumption and material possessions can create a sense of pressure and inadequacy, particularly for those who can't afford to participate.
It sounds like Black Friday has become a symbol of much larger issues, from worker exploitation to environmental degradation to economic despair. It's more than just a shopping day. It's a reflection of some of the most pressing challenges facing our world today.
It's a reminder that our choices, even seemingly small ones, like what we buy on Black Friday, have ripple effects that extend far beyond ourselves.
So as we navigate this complex landscape of Black Friday, is there a way to find a balance to enjoy the deals? Without ignoring the ethical and environmental concerns?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? One article proposed an interesting concept, Buy Nothing Day, a global movement encouraging people to abstain from shopping on Black Friday as a form of protest against consumerism.
That's a pretty radical approach.
Yeah.
But I can see how it would send a powerful message.
It certainly challenges the status quo and forces us to question our assumptions about what it means to participate in Black Friday.
But let's be realistic. Not everyone is going to boycott Black Friday. Are there more moderate approaches that allow people to participate in the sales while still being mindful of the broader implications?
Absolutely. It's about making conscious choices, setting a budget, prioritizing needs over wants, and researching brands you support. Maybe even consider giving back by donating to charities that address the issues highlighted by Black Friday.
It seems like a lot to think about for what's supposed to be a day of shopping.
It is, but that's the point. Black Friday has become so deeply embedded in our culture that we need to critically examine its impact and our own role in perpetuating it.
This deep dive has certainly revealed that Black Friday is far more than just a day for deals. It's a reflection of our values, our priorities, and our relationship with the world around us.
It's a microcosm of our modern society, showcasing both our ingenuity and our challenges.
And as we head into the future, it'll be interesting to see how Black Friday continues to evolve. Both as a shopping event and as a cultural phenomenon. Will it continue to be a symbol of unfettered consumerism? Or will it transform into something more sustainable and ethical?
That's a question for the ages. But one thing's for sure, the conversation surrounding Black Friday is far from over.
Before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more aspect of Black Friday that we haven't discussed yet. Its psychological impact. Those articles you sent over mention the fear of missing out. The sense of urgency and competition that retailers deliberately cultivate to drive sales.
You're right. The psychology behind Black Friday is fascinating. It's a masterclass in marketing manipulation. Retailers use a variety of techniques to tap into our deepest desires and insecurities. From limited time offers to countdown clocks to social media hype.
It's almost like they're playing on our primal instincts, creating a sense of scarcity and urgency that makes us act impulsively. Do the articles offer any tips on how to resist these psychological traps?
Several articles suggest setting a budget in advance and sticking to it. Making a shopping list and avoiding impulse buys. And being mindful of the emotional triggers that retailers use.
So it's about being aware of the game that's being played.
Right.
And making conscious choices rather than reacting emotionally.
Exactly. By understanding the psychological tactics at play, we can become more savvy consumers and avoid falling prey to the hype.
It seems like Black Friday is a battleground for our minds.
Yes.
As much as it is for our wallets.
It's a test of our willpower, our values,
Right.
and our ability to resist the allure of consumerism.
And as we move into the final part of our deep dive,
Okay.
we'll explore what Black Friday reveals about us as individuals and as a society. What does our participation in this event say about our values, our priorities,
Right.
and our relationship with the world around us? Join us as we delve into these profound questions.
Sounds good.
So we've uncovered like the history of the marketing tactics, the ethical concerns, the psychological pressures that shape Black Friday.
Right.
But what does it all mean? What does our participation in Black Friday say about us as individuals and as a society?
Well, Black Friday acts as a sort of cultural mirror, reflecting our values and anxieties.
Interesting.
It reveals our desire for deals, our susceptibility to marketing, and our often complex relationship with consumerism.
Yeah.
It also highlights the growing awareness of ethical consumption and sustainability.
So it's not just about shopping, it's about understanding ourselves and the world we live in.
Right.
One of the articles you sent over talked about the sociological aspects of Black Friday, how it's become this ritualistic event, almost like a modern-day festival.
That's a really interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Black Friday has taken on a symbolic meaning for many people.
Okay.
It's a day that marks the start of the holiday season, a time for family and friends.
Yeah.
And for some, a chance to indulge in a little retail therapy. It's become more than just a shopping day. It's a cultural event that brings people together for better or worse.
And let's be honest, there's a certain thrill to it, isn't there? The excitement of the hunt, the satisfaction of scoring a great deal.
Oh, yeah.
Sense of community among fellow shoppers.
You're right. There's a definite adrenaline rush associated with Black Friday.
Okay.
It's a potent mix of anticipation competition and the thrill of acquisition. It taps into our primal instincts in a way that few other events do.
But that rush can also be addictive, can it? Leading to impulsive purchases and overspending.
Absolutely. The dopamine hit we get from finding a bargain can lead to a cycle of consumption that's hard to break.
Right.
And retailers know this. They exploit this vulnerability through their marketing and pricing strategies.
So Black Friday is this complex interplay of individual psychology, marketing manipulation, and cultural norms. It's almost like a social experiment playing out on a global scale. But where do we go from here? Is there a way to reclaim Black Friday to make it more ethical, more sustainable, more meaningful?
Several articles suggest shifting the focus from mindless consumption to more mindful practices, supporting small businesses and local artisans, buying experiences instead of material goods, giving back to the community through charitable donations. These are just some of the ideas being explored.
It's about reframing Black Friday. Transforming it from a day of frenzied shopping into a day of conscious choices and meaningful connections.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the power we have as consumers to shape the marketplace and to create a more just and sustainable world.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Black Friday, what's the one key takeaway you'd like our listener to ponder?
I think this Black Friday is ultimately what we make it. It's a reflection of our choices, our values, and our priorities. We can choose to participate in the frenzy of consumerism, or we can choose to step back and make more conscious decisions. The power is in our hands.
That's a powerful message. Black Friday is more than just a shopping day. It's an opportunity for reflection, for critical thinking, and for making choices that align with our values.
And perhaps that's the most important lesson we can learn from Black Friday. It's a reminder that we have the power to shape the world around us, one purchase at a time.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive.
Thanks.
We've gone beyond the surface of Black Friday, exploring its history, its marketing tactics, its ethical dilemmas, and its psychological impact.
It's been a fascinating journey uncovering the hidden layers of this complex cultural phenomenon.
And for you, our listener, we hope this deep dive has given you a new perspective on Black Friday. Armed with this knowledge, you can now approach this shopping event with more awareness, more mindfulness, and a deeper understanding of the forces at play.
Happy shopping, and remember to shop wisely.